Hey, how are y'all? Those are my hangers. I'm hanging up a lot of stuff. Let me put this right here. How is everybody? Late night chat. Hey, hey, everybody. Hey, CB. Hey, Ty. Hey, Android. Hey, Miss Polk. I am eating some delicious watermelon with lemon juice, my favorite. That hat is filthy and I love it. You know, your hole is my goal, baby. Let's just, I wore this to the gay club the Butch Queens was living the other day. It'll be becoming one of my favorite fashion inspos on Instagram. All right. Hey, Elizabeth. Hey, Marissa. I've been trying to get more into my in my real life, I'm always in my fashion bag. I'm always putting on something. But in sharing my fashion on the internet, I'm trying to get more into that. But I'd be like, yes, I got these at a vintage shop and I got them because they were super light. Like this is hollow. So it's not like metal. It's plastic, but it looks like my chain and I got a brass one and I got some silver one, but I'm just mixing the metals cuz I'm just into doing mixed metals recently. Hey CL, I was feeling, base fitted trucker hat and tulle floral honey. She is looking really, and I got some green tennies, some Nikes. That's what I was rocking today. And my Dior. My vintage saddle Dior bag. I live. So a little look. Tipping through. Hey. A something little green, little feminine mixed with masculine trucker hat. You know, it was cute today. I actually got some shoes that I ordered. I love John Galliano. Let me see if I'll show y'all my shoes. They are not they're not like fab or nothing. I just wanted some basic browns. Just some basic browns. So they're not fab or nothing, but they just comfortable, regular shoes, and they were on sale at Saks. And I was like, oh, these are perfect. They're not. Just some regular walking shoes, but they were brown. And they're just regular cute. Ain't these cute like some jeans and just some regular walking shoes? And they're like really canvas. Isn't he super cute? I thought they were cute. Just regular, tipping around shoe. I love these. Just a regular shoe. That's what I got today. That's my purchase for the week. And I got some shoes and a dress. It was super cute. hmm The pics you posted earlier on YouTube. Oh, thank you. Those pictures were taken at this place in St. Clair, Missouri, called Lost Hill Lake. And I was there because I am co-writing with a cohort of trans people. We are writing an anthology where we all are contributing to an anthology intended to speak to trans youth that are coming out now, to give them context of, you know, trans rights thus far. It's literally a book to the babies from older generations. So everybody who is on this project is 30 and older or 35 and older, somewhere around there. We're all 35 and older. And so we're doing an anthology to the young trans people coming out, Gen Alpha or whatever. And we all went to Lost Hill Lake and kind of spent time together, swimming and just getting to know each other before we actually embark on our writing. And it was such a beautiful experience. And one of the areas of the thing is of the place is like this really foresty, beautiful, really foresty, beautiful place. And right smack dab in the middle is this an abandoned truck that is one of the owners of the land. He just put it there because it didn't work anymore. And he was like, I just use them for my old trucks for decorations. And so I was like, oh, I need a picture with these trucks. And so I took a picture. Put my bathing suit on and told one of the boys to take pictures of me, and they took a bunch of pictures. And those were my favorites, my three favorites. So thank you. I love those pictures. They give me real like Ogun energy, Ogun and Oshun kind of together. But very, very Ogun. Hey, Robert. So, I want to talk about my friend. I think I told y'all the story, but I want to continue other stories that include the same person. I don't know if y'all all were here, but do y'all remember me telling y'all a story about? I think I did a live about dudes who are on the download, how they kind of get on my nerves, and how this boy went to school with me and he was trying to talk to my cousin, and my cousin was trying to talk to him, and he ended up popping my cousin and saying, "Oh, I actually want to talk to your trans cousin." So it was a whole big old thing. So, and then my gay friend, my gay best friend at the time, Mario was friends with a chick that he messed with, this big girl that he messed with, and Mario's end up telling. So Mario was best friends with me, and then he was another best friend. Like his other best friend was a cisgender girl, big girl named Brandy, and when Mario found out that I was messing around with Brandy's boyfriend, I didn't know him and Brandy was talking, so I didn't know anything about it. Mario ended up telling Brandy that I was messing with her boyfriend, her trade. So it was this whole big old thing where he confronted me about it. It was crazy because I didn't know how anybody would know because I only told one person, which was my friend. So very lesson learned. The lesson learned is you don't tell people who you're dealing with, even your besties. So anyway, I want to talk about that friend because there's a couple of stories that involve him that I just had to realize, like, even though y'all friends, sometimes people's traumas, people's um insecurities, and jealousy sometimes, but I don't want to say it's just a bunch of amalgamation of jealousy, insecurities, and systems of beauty standards and all kind of stuff all mixing together, and it can complicate friendships. And so let me give you the background of our friendship. um so so how I met my friend, I was a freshman in high school, and we both were freshmen in high school, and our first period of the day was gym. Now, mind you, because I'm coming in trying to be trans, gay, I'm coming in trying to do everything but do gym shit, child. Ain't nobody trying to do gym shit. and I wasn't. And so I didn't come and do none of the basketball shit. Everything that the teacher wanted us to do, I didn't come to do that shit. I am the fish girl, and you is not about to make me get all sweaty and shooting basketballs and all this kind of trash shit. I am not doing that, baby. I'm gonna sit on these bleachers and be fish about it. I'm gonna sit on these bleachers and be fish about it. And honey, if I fail, I fail. That's what my mindset was. Like I feel like I don't know what I was thinking, but I felt like, honey, if I show up to this motherfucker, you should at least give me a D to pass. So I'm sitting on the bleachers watching the boys do whatever they do, whether they run around the gym like a track, or he'll be having them do different stuff, shooting, all kinds of gymmy shit, physical education, child. And so I look up and it's another boy, not as feminine as me, but honey, you can tell he you can tell. And so he up there in the bleachers and he got his Walkman on and he keeps singing these songs and he's singing these like churchy ass songs, but he's singing soprano. And it's not, because I grew up in the church, I'm able to clock, whether you sing a tenor, you sing an alto, you sing a soprano, because this is during like, I don't know, this is like 80s. This is when, this is not the 80s, but what was popping on Indiana gospel radio station was very Richard Smallwood, 80s, like early 90s, 80s gospel music. Lucretia Campbell, a little bit of Clark Sisters. This is when I come that you might have life more abundantly. I come that you might have life to eternity. Do not come to convince the world or shame you for your wrong, but I come to the broken heart and to give your heart a song, song, song. I come to give you life. I come to give you joy. I come to give you life. It's a whole joy, 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 joy. It was it was this era of gospel music that was like fire. It was a fire time. It was popping when the song that all the gospel, especially Koji people, praises be to the King of Kings and the Lord our God. He is wonderful. Oh, hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. He is one. This is when that came out. Like, this is when that was like, now it's like a gospel classic that everybody know growing up, especially in our generation. But this is when it was like hot. So my friend Mario, at the time we didn't know each other, he is in the bleachers with his headphones on. And because he grew up in church and only listened to church music, he has made a cassette tape. This is back when you had a recorder on your radio and you press record and you'll record whatever is playing. And so what he would do, he would take the empty cassette tapes and record what was playing on the gospel station and put it on the cassette tape and be playing it in his Walkman while we at gym. And so what I'm clocking is he keeps singing soprano and he's singing soprano in the key of a soprano. So it's gagging me because I'm musical. And I'm like, this motherfucker is killing this soprano. Like, what is you up there doing, honey? Because he's full power. He is killing it. And I'm like, bitch, you was wearing this soprano out. Why are you wearing the soprano out like this? And he would do it on every song. Like every song, he's just killing the soprano. So we get to talking about music. We connect with music. So we thinking about just different songs that we would be singing and just doing all kind of stuff. So I asked him, was he gay? And he said, he did just like this. No. I was like, boy, you is a punk girl. If you don't get out of here, you is a punk. You is stop. Yeah, right. So he kept saying no, he not gay, not gay. But I'm like, sweetie, you is giving nothing but punk, baby. You tipping the. I know a punk when I see a punk. Why are you lying? But he keeps saying no for a little bit. And then but at this point, me, honey, I done been to the club. I wasn't having sex yet, not penetration. I was sucking a little dick, but wasn't but wasn't getting plowed yet. So, I'm having boys, and it is what it is, honey. But I know you a punk, but he didn't want to admit it. So once he gave all that, I was like, oh, Miss Thing Girl, oh, church queen, get out of here. And so one day we're sitting, and so how it would always be, I would be like 2 seats up on the bleachers, and he would be like 6 up, like right here. And so over time, it started, I would go up a little bit more and he'll come down a little bit more to where we're like at 4. Over time, we would get closer and closer because we kikiing and talking and da-da-da. And him, he didn't have, because he grew up in church, he didn't really have any queer friends. See, me, I had already met Ty. I had already met so many other queer people that I already knew a lot of queer people. So it wasn't like a new thing for me or whatever. But for Mario, it was new. Like him having a queer friend is like, but he's still trying to lie about being queer, but he wants the queer friend. You see what I'm saying? So each time I come in the room, in the auditorium, in the gymnasium, not auditorium, in the gymnasium, he gets closer and closer to me and kikiing about how, just how open I am about my queerness. That is what is attracting him to me. Like stuff that I'm wearing. As soon as I walk in the room, he is gagging just as much as the tray. He is, whatever clothes I put on, like if it's any kind of feminine, he'd be like, oh my God, what is you doing? Girl, I'm the fish girl. Let me be the fish, honey. But it was funny because he would gag. So one day, the boys are playing basketball. So they're going, and how our gym was they split it in half, and the girls was on this end and the boys was on this end. And so they had one hoop, like it was basically a basketball court. So one half is where the girls play. They don't even come over to us, and the boys play over here, which was kind of sickening because, honey, you ain't got fish over here hating. You ain't got them over here talking and blocking and all that shit. It's just the boys and the girls. And the girls. And so we sitting there, and the boys is they're playing the little basketball. So they're playing, I don't know what the fuck. It's basketball, but I don't know how they doing the rules or whatever and the teaming up. Because there'd be some boys standing right there, and then they'll switch players, and I don't know. I ain't no basketball person, so I don't know what's happening, but they're playing. And so I'm trying to think of all the boys that are, it is tons of boys in here, but the main boys, the cute ones and the popular ones, that's the only ones that matter. So the main boys that are cute are Isaac Duncan, um, Gary Isaiah, um, popular boys that are ugly, William Holland and Brandon Burke. And then was there anybody else that was I can't think of anybody else's name, but those are the four boys that I remember their name because they either was shady and late or they were cute and they were handsome. So Gary and Isaac, so Brandon and William, they were the bullies. They were the ones. Soon as you come here, soon as you come in, they're gonna call you a faggot. Soon as you soon as you get to wanting to twirl them, they're gonna be like Brandon. I'll be wanting to twirl him, and like say he'll call me a faggot, and I'll be like, bitch, you ain't gonna do nothing, no. Like I'll be like, you gonna say that over there. I bet you won't say it in my face. And anytime I get to try to press him to twirl, because what I learned in my younger years is when you twirl in the beginning of school, you don't have to twirl no more because they learn that you will twirl. Even if you don't win, they know that you will twirl or you crazy. Because even if I don't win, I'm going to do something crazy where I'm talking about bite your face. I'm going to do something crazy where you know I'm crazy. So motherfuckers ain't gonna want to twirl you. So you twirl in the beginning. If you whoop some ass or do something crazy, people won't fuck with you. They'll leave you the fuck alone because they know, oh, I'm gonna have to really, really twirl with this motherfucker. So Brandon will always say shit like, oh, I don't fight girls. I don't fight girls. Being smart aleck. Of course you don't. Fuck out of here. Anyway. One day, because boys like to horseplay and boys are homoerotic, for whatever reason, as they're playing a game, they started pulling each other's pants down. And for the cisgender girls in the room, it is something about when you're a young boy that anything ornery and mannish, it will get boys to cracking up. Whether it be a fart, whether it be anything that got to do with sex. So pulling a dude's pants down, showing his booty or his dingaling, they gonna crack up and they gonna think it's funny. There's a homo eroticism that is just that's in young boy culture. That's just what it is. It be gay as hell, and to other queer assigned male at birth people, when you're young, if you identify as a little boy, when you're young, it's really fucking confusing till you get older and learn that this is just how men are. Men are fucking homoerotic for a lot of their life but because people are attacking you for being queer, it's kind of confusing because it's like y'all doing some really gay ass shit. But y'all had some that had the nerve to be talking hella shit when it comes to me being feminine. But y'all out here grabbing each other's booties and smacking each other's asses and grabbing each other's dick and y'all doing all these kind of, y'all making it seem like it's playful, but this shit is gay as hell. This is back in the 80s and 90s, so they wasn't saying pause, but they would have been saying pause. Pause, my nigga, pause. Hold up. No Diddy. But this is just was something that was really, really strange about growing up as a boy because they would be doing some gay ass shit. And it was strange for me because I wasn't sexually active in the way that people were assuming. But anyway, they were coming up. Say the dude while they playing the game. Say a dude would jump up and throw a free throw. While they up in the air, somebody would run behind them and snatch their basketball shorts down. And so, if they had the wrong kind of underwear on, everything will be out. So one time, they did it to this fine boy named Gary Isaiah. And so Gary Thang came out, and me and Mario was like, oh, dingling. We got a packer up in this motherfucker. And I was like, bitch, did you see that? And Mario was like, really? And I'm looking at him like, I knew you was a punk. Soon as the dicks come out, you can't hide, honey. But because that motherfucking dick was big, and all I could hear was, a real low, I said, did you see that? And he said, mm-hmm. And I said, I knew you was a punk. And he started cackling. And so we just have this moment where we're cackling because of what is happening and because of he finally get to come clean and be gay. Now, Mario is 6'4", maybe 300, 320. A big dude. He's big in every way, tall and big. Now we freshmen, so he ain't as big as he will come to be as a grown man, but he was much, much bigger than the rest of the boys. Like he was a big ass nigga. Big, 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 big. He had he had a nice grade of hair. Is that still politically correct to say? He had a nice, what we would say at the time, a nice grade of hair. And he had like some messed up teeth. Like it was like they were kind of, it was a gap in them, and then the front two it kind of did like this. They were his teeth was kind of messed up. He was really hairy, but always smelled good. Like he was clean. Like he was a clean big boy. Always smelled good. Always fresh. Wore Jabot jeans and polo shirts, but you just knew he was gay because of how he held his hands, how he walked. You just knew he was gay. And so ever since that moment, that little moment where we were talking about, we wanted them where we had this moment where we both saw Gary's meat. The meat that we wanted to see was Isaac, because out of all the dudes, Isaac the one that looks the cutest, like as far as his face. Now he wasn't tall like Gary. Gary was cute too, but he wasn't tall like Gary, so he was kind of short. But he was like, he kind of gave you that kind of Genuine vibe, where that ain't Genuine fine as hell, but that ain't necessarily my type. Genuine kind of a pretty boy, you feel what I'm saying? And while he's fine, I kind of like him a little bit more like DMX. That's kind of more my speed. Dark skin, hood, thuggy, kind of, that DMX vibe. Where Genuine is like, I look at Genuine and I'm like, oh, Genuine, he fine. in a pretty boy kind of way, like a 90s version of like El DeBarge or something. That's what Genuine gave me. He was like our version of what my mama loved back in the 70s and the 80s. The El DeBarge. Genuine was that. A little bit more, you know what I'm saying? A little bit more masculine, but Genuine was basically the El DeBarge of the 90s. Do y'all agree or not? Hey Turner. But yeah, it was like when I see boys like that, I know they pretty, like I know they handsome and they cute, but they don't give me energy like a hood nigga. I'll be sure. I can see. Yeah, I can give. I'll be sure. I was gonna say I'll be sure, but I'll be sure gave. He wasn't my mama's era. Well, I don't know. I'll be sure gave me more late 80s. But yeah, I'll take I'll be sure. But when I see him, I'm like, okay, you cute. I know you cute, and I know everybody else is gonna think you like the shit, but it ain't gonna be my type. My type is gonna be like Tupac or DMX or who else? A Memphis Bleak, Meek Mills, like niggas like that. They kind of, I think like Meek Mills is fine. I think like DMX is fine. I think dudes like that is more my speed. Genuine is my ultimate team. Yeah. Yeah, see, I don't be fuck. I see that. See, exactly. I know Genuine to other people is gonna be like they fire and desire, but they don't be my fire and desire. Yes, Loon. Yes, Loon was my yes. So Cali Rican, we here. That is what I expect. Loon now, woo, Loon now is even fine. But back then, Loon, yes, that give me that vibe. I need that vibe. You like men that look like Trench? Yes, Trench. All of that. All of that. Give me all of that. So Isaac was the one that looked like the Genuine, and Gary was the one that gave you Trench, that gave you like, and he was tall. It was like, oh, And so, but Isaac was a pretty boy. He was, he got the little box that's curly like Genuine, and he's a pretty boy. So we still want to see what that piece is doing. So why y'all ain't pulling Isaac shorts down? Y'all need to pull his shorts down, honey. He's the one we want to see what that meat is giving, because the stereotype is if you pretty like that, baby, you ain't got no meat. And now that we done seen Gary got the meat, it's more likely you do not. So we like, oh Lord, we want to see y'all do that. So we saying shit like, oh, y'all doing the wrong one. Up on the bleachers. So they keep doing different people, and we are on the bleachers like, y'all doing the wrong one, child. Y'all need to let us pick. So we saying all this gay ass shit. Y'all need to let us pick which ones y'all do. And so because we're participating in the foolery, now they want to start getting homophobic and, oh, we need to stop doing this. Y'all being real gay, trying to show them our pieces. Now, mind you, they started doing this shit on their own, but now that we joining in with our little commentary, they want to be like, oh, it's getting gay. Nigga, it was gay before we start saying nothing. Get the fuck out of here. So they stopped doing the little pull up hands down stuff. And we get to kind of like arguing back and forth about somebody, one of the bullies like William ugly as hell. Ugly, don't nobody want you. And it's really because we making it That's really what it is. Because we making it, we make letting you know who's the fine niggas in the room. Even though they want to act like, oh, that's gay stuff. Y'all really mad that they the pretty boys and we making it worse. We making it known that they the pretty boys, and that's the ones we want to see. And y'all niggas is and we don't want to see y'all in any way, shape, or form. Get out of here, gross. And they was getting jealous, and now it's all of a sudden gay. And why y'all pulling people's pants down, even though they were the ones doing it too, and it was crazy. So this continued like for the rest of the year, like because PE, how ours was set up, you only need to pass with a D your your first semester and your second semester. So the first semester is PE, and the second semester of the first year is PE. And if you pass both of them, you have enough PE credits to pass high school. So you don't need to do any more PE or anything like that. So what happened was we failed the first semester. And so the second semester, the teacher, Mr. Carver, he came to us and was like, yo, I know y'all gay. But I don't want to fail y'all. Y'all gotta pass my fucking class. So this is the deal I'm gonna give y'all. Every day, y'all have to come in wardrobe. So wardrobe is because all the boys go in the locker room, they take off their regular school clothes and put on our school color clothes. Like it was black. Our school clothes was gold and black, and so it was black basketball shorts and yellow and gold like cheap ass little jerseys. They didn't have no number on them. They just had Arlington Knights, and it was stupid. He said, all y'all gotta do is change into wardrobe, which was changed into that. And then at the end of the day, at the end of the period, y'all do the cleanup. Like y'all go get the balls, y'all go get the anything that we have, equipment that we have used and pull out. We take them out, we go get them, put them on the rack, and then put them up for the next class. And he said, if y'all do that, I not only will pass y'all with a D, y'all ain't getting no motherfucking nothing good. It's gonna be a D. He's like, if y'all want to make y'all shit, y'all gotta participate. But if y'all want to just pass, I'll give y'all a D and pass y'all, and y'all do y'all just gotta do the cleanup. And he said the other sweet part is I'll go retroactively change last semester's grade. So we was like, we gotta take this deal because we at least will get the D and pass and be cool. So I was like, all right. So me and Mario would, but the negative T was I'm a whole woman, bitch, and you making me turn into putting these basketball shorts and these fucking jersey on. This is late. So for me, it was kind of late because I gotta change into this fucking boys gig. And at this time, I also was wearing pads. It just was so late. Like it was a whole horrible gender dysphoric situation where but I wanted to pass the class so I wouldn't have to do it over because we had to get, you got to have PE is a part of like the curriculum. You got to have PE credit to graduate high school. So I was like, oh my God, it's so late. But I would just change clothes. And it also was kind of crazy because you have to change clothes in the locker room in front of all the boys and they being fucking homoerotic. They being weird and late. And it was just horrible. But we end up working it out. But I tell you all of this to tell you how me and Mario became friends. So how it started. So from then on, me and Mario was thick and thieves at school. So you see me coming around the corner, more than likely you're gonna see Mario coming around the corner. You see Mario, more than likely you're gonna see me. We would once we got our new schedules, like for every semester that we was in school, when we got our new schedules, we looked at where our classes was, and we would figure out where we could meet up to walk to our new classes. So that was my bitch. That was my motherfucking bitch. So we cool. We doing our thing. And so we would walk through the hallways, and like we both were singers, so we would sing different songs that was popular at the time and do the harmony. Um, like like anything that had to do with like girls in harmony, like Johnny. Oh baby, we love to give a Johnny. Well, it's a groove thing. We got a funky swing. Well, it's a groove thing, a groove thing. We're moving on, keep it strong. Don't you let you see you wrong. It's a groove thing. Ooh, we used to wear that out and just do the harmonies. It was cute. Um, and we would do like What's Love Got to Do with It. We would do different renditions of what's her name? When you were a good old boy, I had a rag doll, the only doll I ever owned. And I love you just the way I love that rag doll. But now my love has grown. And it gets stronger in every way. And it gets deeper, let me say. And it gets wider day by day. And do I love you, my oh my? Yeah, river deep, mountain high. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And we would be in the hallway doing choreographed dance numbers to these songs. Bend over, let me see you shake a tail feather. We're basically doing all of What's Love Got to Do with It. Whatever numbers that they did, make me over. Anything that they did, we are acting out the whole movie because we love the movie. And we're doing it in the hallway. You bend over, let me see you shake a tail feather. Now you bend over and let me see you do it. Twist that, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, baby. All of that. So we just having a ball. So we would do it. People would have us do it. Teachers would have us do it. Just whatever. That's just what it was. And it was so cute. And so this is like the budding of our friendship. So the thing that really solidified it was one day we are in the gym, and one of the ugly boys, his name was Jabbar Driver. Jabbar Driver, his mother was an actual teacher at the school, Miss Driver. And so there was not celebrity nepotism, but it almost was like a nepotism because his mother was a teacher. He got away with some shit. And one of those things was trying to bully us. And so one day, now mind you, I told y'all Mario is a big nigga. Mario is not a small person. Like he was 6'4" in high school. So he wasn't a little person. So one day, I don't know what it was. And once Mario got more comfortable with me, Mario started to be more flamboyant. And so now me, I wouldn't say that I ever was flamboyant, but I was feminine. So it's just a soft femininity, like a girl, like regular. I was regular. But Mario was very give you butch queen, like give you fed, aggy. And so there was a difference in how we acted in regards to the public. But once he got comfortable with me, it started to be bad. It started to be like Miss Thing. Which for me, it was funny. It was just cute. It was funny to me. It was no tea. But he used to wear the tray out. Like he would say little stuff to the tray, if the trade says some smart shit, he's, of course, we both gonna say something back to them and blah, 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 blah. So this one day, Jabari has said something to Mario along the lines of, yo, big, tall, agate ass should be out here playing basketball with us instead of up there acting like a agate. Yeah. So when we when he said that to Mario, I don't know why it stung a little bit. I don't know why it stung Mario a little bit, but something about this response really pulled Mario out of his element. Because Mario usually was, I don't want to say a punk, but Mario's going to fight you. Like, you ain't ever gonna put your hands on Mario. You ain't never gonna be up in Mario's face and he not bop you. So, but Mario's a type that he's gonna avoid the bop. I'm the type that if you say something to me, I'm gonna call your bluff. But Mario's a type that he'll avoid the bop. Like, he'll be like, "Oh, child, you ain't talking about nothing." Like, he'll just kind of de-escalate it. But today, whatever he said about Mario, and it was something about Mario being tall and should be on the Mario being so tall, you ain't never you should be down here with us because you so big. Because Mario, his size is big. His size is, it's big. And so it's something about what Jabari said that made not Jabari, Jabbar. Something about what he said made him trigger Mario. So Mario, I ain't never seen Mario like this. Like, the way he was talking back to Jabbar, he was not, he was very agitated. And so they're going back and forth, going back and forth. And so it just keeps escalating bigger and bigger and bigger. And so it end up when it's time for us to go to our second period. Remember, this is the first class of the day, so this is early in the morning. But once it's time, so they've been arguing the whole about to fight, and to where the teacher come out and was like, "Y'all need to calm the fuck down, and I'm gonna send y'all both to the office." Blah 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 blah. And so it calms down. And so when it's time for us to go out to our next class, what happens is we have to line up out basically in the locker room towards the door to leave out to go into the hallway to go to your next class. But we can't actually go out. We have to stand by the door in a line until the bell ring, and then we go. And so remember, they've been arguing this whole period. And then the teacher says, "I'm gonna send y'all to the office if y'all don't stop arguing." And they calm down. We get in the line, and now me and Mario, what we about to do is we're about to go to my class, and then when we separate, he goes to his class because we get to my class first. So we get to my class, and we separate, and blah 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 blah. So apparently, when we separate and we go down to the next hallway, he go down to the next hallway. The Jabari is down there, and this dude named Felipe, you might know Felipe Ty. Felipe is the one that Toy had that daddy used to work for Indigo, the fine light skinned boy. His daddy is Puerto Rican, and his mom is black, and he looked like a regular black boy, but just a cute black boy. But his daddy worked for Indigo, and Toy ended up having him. So, so he is like an instigator. So he basically told Jabari that he was scared, that Mario big ass had him scared or whatever. And so Jabari started talking shit again. And so I guess however it happened, it escalated to where Mario and Jabari is fighting. And apparently Mario is wearing Jabari out. Boom, 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 boom. So much so that one of his little friends come and try to not jump in and try to hit Mario, but try to grab Mario and pull Mario off of him so he can get up and try to get licks because Mario is beating him up. Yeah, Jabari lanky as shit. And so when it start popping off, somebody run to my classroom and tell me that Mario is about to fight. So when that happens, I run out of the classroom, even though my teacher, her name is Jennifer Beeching, and we call her Miss Bitching because her name was Beeching, so we call her Bitching. And we're children, we're kids, childish. And so I'm like, fuck what she talking about. And I run out the class and I run down the hallway toward his class. And when I see the dude trying to pull him off of Mario, I come over there and say, boom, 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 and just start fighting the dude. Because in my brain, I'm thinking that they trying to jump Mario. And so, but I don't see him hitting Mario, but I see him grabbing Mario to get Mario off of him, which to me, you don't grab my friend while they fighting. No, let the hands get thrown. You don't grab and hold nobody. Because it's been too many situations I done been in where somebody's grabbing and holding and somebody can get some free licks. No, you don't grab and hold nobody. You can stand in between them. You can do it, all of that. But you grabbing him up off of him, nigga, get the fuck off of him. Boom, 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 boom. So once Mario see that I got his back, we light their ass up. Boom. Boom, we getting them. Baby. Wearing their ass up, wearing their ass. So everybody is crowding around and just like, whoa, they calling us the pink and yellow ranger. They was calling us the pink and yellow ranger from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers because we was wearing them out. So we all get suspended or whatever, but because Jabari's mother was a teacher, she came down there and told them, she came down to kind of chastise Jabari because apparently it went all around that Jabari was bothering us, like trying to bully us. And so when she came down and was like, oh, no. She basically asked the principal or the dean of students to not suspend her, let her handle her own. And since under her, basically who was telling her what was going on, it basically from her perspective, Jabari was trying to bully us. So he basically got in trouble when he got home, and none of us, because of the mother, none of us got suspended for fighting. He got grounded at home instead of us being suspended. So as you can imagine, this is the start of a lifelong friendship between me and Mario. This is how we become friends. We get in a fight with Jabari Driver, and that's how, we meet at the bleachers. It's just the start of our friendship. So whereas we were already getting close, that made us closer. We done bop the trade. Oh yes, my bitch, my Judy. That's what it is. So yeah, that's the start of our friendship. So I cannot stress y'all enough that until Mario, probably the year before Mario passed away, from the time I was 14, from the time that we met in high school, there is not one day, 1 week that I didn't talk to Mario on the phone, like for the rest of my life, until like a year before he passed away. I'm talking about for the rest of my life, no matter where I lived, no matter where I lived, whether I was at Jackson State, whether I was in Mississippi, where I was in Walnut Grove, where I was in Indiana, wherever I was, don't matter. Me and Mario talked on the phone from the time mhm, from the time I was 14 till he passed away in 2014. So I want to more than anybody. I've talked to Mario more than anybody in my life. Like it's something about me and Mario's conversation that we like. Me and Ty work better when we don't really talk on the phone. We'll chit chat on the internet or in person. We usually are in person. We see each other during the holidays, da da da. But me and Mario, because of our personalities, we talk more on the phone. Like it's just we would be on the phone for hours, talking about whatever, talking about music, talking about da 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 da. Just more than anybody, more than my mother. Like more, it's just something about our phone conversation and our phone personalities that just mixed well with how our friendship was. It just was. It is what it is. So even though I moved out of Indianapolis multiple times, it didn't really put a burden on our friendship because we talked on the phone like at least once a week. Usually it's like 4 or 5 times a week. Sometimes every day of the week. It just depends on what was going on. Um, but at least once a week since I was 14 all the way until he passed away. The year before he passed away. So now mind you, I live in a group home. So Mario thinks that is the coolest thing ever. Mario thinks, "Oh, you are living with the boys. You living in this in this house full of nothing but niggas, bitch. You should be having a ball." And I was having a ball. but but to him, it was exciting because he grew up in the church, and not being able to do nothing, not being able to go nowhere, not be because even in our city, there was shit that you do as a young person that he wouldn't be able to do. Like we would go to the rink, we would go to like skating rink. We would do like midnight at the skating rink, lock-ins at the skating rink. He couldn't be able to do it because his mother was churchy and he couldn't go. Only activities Mario could do, they had to be church. They had to be something to do with the church, whether it be choir rehearsal, boys camp, something that the church was doing, then he could do it. And so me to him, I was like this wild street dog where I got to do whatever I wanted to do, but he didn't really understand that the group home came with rules too. And so so yeah, so but anyway, that's so he lived. So any story that I had with the trade in the group home, he wants to hear about it. If some new boys come in to the group home, he want me to describe them if they fine. He want me to is it, because in the group home there are just different rotations of people. That's how I met Ty. Ty was one of the rotation of people that had came in and left. So it will be different people. Sometimes it's older boys, sometimes it's younger boys, sometimes it's fucking retarded ass boys. Like niggas with like tons of mental problems. And then sometimes it'd be normal ones, just about regular normal. So there was a spontaneity to that Mario lived for and liked. Mario definitely lived his fish vicariously through you. Yes, that is what I eventually come to realize that he was doing. But at the time when I was younger, we were envying each other's life because he has a mother who is not on drugs, who is stable, who is, I don't want to say she's cool, but she's stable. And so for me, I wished my mother was like that. Like I wish my mother was stable, not on drugs, and blah 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 blah. So he wanted the freedom that I had, but I wanted the stability that he had. So I wasn't looking at it as he was living through me, because I was too busy like trying to be like, nigga, you got the life. You got your mom and you what? Nigga, what? I wasn't even thinking about it. I thought it was ridiculous. But that's what it was. He was living vicariously through me. Anyway, so there was a dude that came into the house named Michael Bridgeport. Michael Bridgeport, chocolate, got a little body, pigeon toed. Cute. So I ended up having Michael Bridgeport. So one day, what we would do is when we get out of school, we would get on the bus, because over the summer we would work these jobs and get these bus passes that had 3 months worth of bus fare on it. And so if you didn't use the bus fare, it will roll over to like the next month. So we would catch the bus with our bus fare cards all the way up until Christmas. So once you do the summer program, them cards can last you, if you ain't riding the bus a lot of places, them cards can last you till Christmas time. So that's what we would do. We would earn our cards and then catch the bus to Circle Center Mall, which is downtown. So that's what we would be doing grown people stuff. Like we would. Now, mind you, this is bad, but we teenagers, we would meet grown men, take them to the bathroom and have them. I remember this is grown ass man. He was like 32. His name was Richard. Now, mind you, we young little. I'm trans, but honey, I ain't got no kind of work. I ain't on nobody kind of moans. And Mario, the tall, gay ass butch queen. This grown ass man, now we look like kids. Even though Mario tall, he looked like a kid. I definitely look like a kid. And we tipping down the hallway. Now here he come, Richard. He got a body. He dark, bald head, and these blue basketball shorts on. He got on this white wife beater. And all you see in his basketball shorts is this. Dingling, 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 dingling. A whole arm, a baby leg, twiddling around. And me and Mario is like, oh, what is that? And so one time, he's coming up the escalator. So when we walking past him, Mario and me look down at the dick, and we like, oh, so we giving gay as hell. And he says, and Richard says, y'all silly. Don't get in trouble. Don't get in trouble. And so we say, oh, we can handle trouble. We can handle trouble. So Mm-hmm. So me and Richard. Oh wait. We're going down the hallway, and then we end up coming up the escalator. We're going down the escalator. He's going up the escalator, and so he going up, and he's sitting there, leaned up against the little thing as the escalator is going up, and the dingaling just sitting right there, hard, because we done got him excited. And Mario said something along the lines of, it can look big in the shorts, but we need to see it out. And Richard is like, I'll show y'all. Come on, meet me at the bathroom. And so me and Mario was like, oh, so we go down and go back up and follow him to the bathroom. And so we get in the stall. And Mario gets to grabbing it in the pants. Now, mind you, I'm real demure and real cutesy. I'm a whore, but I like to play coy. I like to play, sweet, innocent coy. But don't let it fool you. I'm a whore. But I like to give a little cutesy demure. So Mario grabbing the piece, end up pulling it out. Big as hell. Richard got a big old thing. So, but as I'm standing there, Richard looking kind of ugly. And Richard looking kind of bummy. Like, this might be a bum, yo. I'm like, we was mesmerized by the meat, but this nigga is giving kind of like, he might be a crackhead. I ain't 100% sure, but it's giving very, very clucker. Like, what is happening right here? What is happening right here? So, especially now that I'm up close to this motherfucker. We were kind of in passing. He do got a body. He chocolate. But now that I'm up on you, it's giving Charleston White, baby. That's exactly what it was giving. It's giving like, could be not. Like, he could just be, older or whatever. But I'm getting turned off. Yeah, the dick is big, but I'm kind of getting turned off because, I ain't trying to have no clucker. That ain't cute. But Richard is living for me, but Mario is like, you got to understand the difference. Mario is like a dude. Like, Mario is like a tall dude, hairy. I'm fish girl. And we're trying to be different things. I'm trying to be the girl. I'm trying to be the fish. Mario's not trying to be the fish. So Mario running around with polos and jeans, baggy jeans. He's giving homo thug. I'm giving blonde, short hair. I'm getting tall, light skinned Jada Pinkett Smith. I'm giving slim fish about it. So my hair is blonde, it's slicked down. That's what it was given. So Richard lives for me, but I'm not living for this clucker vibe that I'm getting from him. So Mario get to sucking the piece in the bathroom stall. And he's trying to convince me to come help him. And I'm like, no, thank you. It's big and cute, but it's something about the vibe that I'm not living for. But don't let it fool you. This is not beneath me. No, I was a young Lisa Ray. I wasn't fish yet. I don't think I was. I was cute. I wasn't fish like that, but I was cool. I was feminine. Um, so I leave the bathroom, but I want y'all to be very clear. It's not because I want. But this is beneath me. Yeah, people were calling me like Lisa Ray, Kamora Lee Simmons, but I feel like I done advanced, but I was young and I wasn't on moans and I a little strong looking to me. So it was giving more Jada Pinkett. um, thank you, Java. Um, little tomboy, little low down dirty shame. Peaches. Jada was a little hard, and she wasn't giving shape. She was little, petite fish. So anyway, I don't have Richard. So I tell Mario. Also, so me and Mario, we haven't had anybody who we haven't done intercourse. So nobody has ever entered our body. Now we don't gobble some meats, but nobody has ever, you know, dug on in at this time. So, but also this is also right there, AIDS epidemic, honey. We're coming in the tail end of the AIDS epidemic, of the height of that portion of it. And so we was really kind of scared of HIV at the time. And so these are conversations us as teenage queer assigned male at birth people would have, and we would have our conversations about it. So we romanticize us losing our virginity to each other, not to each other, but telling the story of how we wanted to do it. Now, mind y'all know my stories, my love beneath stories. I told y'all the story about Gerald and Eric. So Mario is the friend that I'm telling all of this stuff that's happening between me, Gerald, and Eric, and people who I was dealing with. So Mario, once again, as Ty said, living vicariously through my circumstances. And by this point, they moved me. They moved me to the big boys group home. So at first I was at the little boys, where I was the oldest. Well, not the oldest, the kind of in the middle. I wasn't the oldest, but I was kind of in the middle. And then when we go to the big boys, I'm the youngest. So, all right. So I'm telling him all the stories, all what's going on in school, all what's going on in Oh, another thing. Mario ended up moving to his mother got her, excuse me, his mother got her Section 8 voucher. So that changed the scenario too. So she was staying in this house off of 40th Street, and then she got her Section 8 voucher and moved into these apartments off of 32nd and Emerson, which put Mario in a different district. And so Mario had to switch schools and go to Warren Central, which I think was the downfall of my friend. Because I think if he would have stayed in school with me, I think I would have influenced him to finish school. But because he went to another school and that they were starting to bully him there, he ended up dropping out because he didn't have any allies at the other school. And so at Warren Township. And so because he was over there by himself, I think, and coming into his queerness, I just think that he just wasn't happy. It just wasn't cool. So he dropped out and stopped going to school. And at first he didn't tell me, but then when I was finishing school and I was getting like report cards and grades, semester grades, I'm asking him, what did he get? Was Warren hood? No, Warren wasn't hood. Warren Township was like I almost say a white school, but anytime you hear townships in our area, they kind of like white. They're still public schools, but you got to be bussed out to them. See, in our city, we started to have these magnet programs to where they were requiring the kids in certain inner cities be bussed out to the white schools. And the townships was the white schools. Lawrence Central Township, Lawrence North Township, Warren Central Township, Perry Township. I went to Perry for a little bit. They just schools with money, but they still public schools. So, but it was black people there because they were getting shipped from the hood that he was from. It just wasn't predominantly black. So anyway, he didn't like it. And I was figuring out that he wasn't going to school because when it was time for me to get my report cards, I would be talking about report cards. I would be like, yo, I got a B, I got a C, or I got an A in this class. Oh man, I almost failed this one. I got a C minus. Like I'm giving all of this T, and I'm like, what you get? And he would just always fucking avoid the conversation. And we would talk about something else and I wouldn't think about it. But by the end of our second semester of my senior year, of my sophomore year, I'm like, nigga, what's going on with school? You don't ever be at school. And anybody who I know to go Warren, they tell me they don't know you and don't see you there. What's going on? And so he basically come clean to say he dropped out. So he don't go to school past 10th grade. Which is now mind you, I'm in high school too. So I don't have the maturity or I don't know what it's called, but I'm going through my own shit. I'm trying to transition. I'm in my relationship stuff, not my relationships, but you know what I'm saying? I'm dealing with my own trade issues. I'm in a group home. I'm dealing with so much shit going on. And remember, I'm looking at Mario's life like it's perfect. Not perfect, but basically, you got your mom and she's stable. Y'all got a place to live. You an only child. He's not an only child, but he's the youngest of his mama's children. So his mama's old, like she's in her 60s when my mama is in her 30s. And so he's the youngest of her children. So all her children are adults except for him. And so he got his own room. She ain't running the street. So to me, he had it perfect. So when I'm hearing him go through his stuff, now that I'm older, I can look back and say, oh, he was going through a crisis, and I didn't know. I didn't know he was going through a crisis. Because I have my own crisis, my own shit. So, all right. So I'm giving y'all the history of our friendship. So another element of our friendship is Mario is a church queen through and through. So even though he met me and I opened him up to queerness, he did not start going to the gay club. He did not start going to like gay functions or stuff like that. That is not what Mario did. So our life was very separate in regards to queer life. So my other queer friends, we would be going to the 10, we would be going to Betty Boop's, we'd be going to, Talbot Street or whatever the queer clubs was, we would be going to them, but Mario would not. Mario wasn't that girl. Mario was a church queen, meaning that he did gay shit, but he did the shit with the gay church queens. So what church queens in our city do, they don't go to gay clubs, but they will go to each other's houses and be queening out in each other's houses. So you're going to see them at church. They're going to kiki at church. You're going to see them at choir rehearsal. They're going to kiki at choir rehearsal. Some of them did hair, so that you might see them at the salon. Like if they were a stylist, some of the church queens were stylists. So you could go to their salon and see all the church queens at their salon. Or you're going to be at one of the church queens' house and they all just kikiing at that. And they are looking down on butch queens that go to the gay club. Like, they're going to be looking at them like, we gay, but we not gay. That's how they talk to each other. And in our city, the gay church was Universal. We had a church called Universal, and that's where all the gay people went. Now, some of them had home churches, but eventually, when they got older, they go into Universal because that's the gay church. Is Mario cute? Mario is not traditionally attractive. Ty, how would you describe Mario? I feel like he had some cuteness when he got older. I think when he got older into and had more style, he wasn't traditionally attractive, but he had cute things about him. Like he had clear skin. He was handsome in a man way. Yeah, like he was. I feel like he didn't play up his masculinity enough until he got older. But when we were younger, I think he saw me and how I presented to the world and the type of men that I attracted, and that's what he wanted. Like he wanted straight boys. Like he liked straight boys. He didn't like gay boys. And that was the crux of his existence. Like, and the crux of our friendship. And I'll talk about that later. But when we was younger, it wasn't as a acute difference because we both kind of was reading as just gay entities. But once I got older and my womanhood started to advance, I was able to do more than Mario particularly, because I was, I could go to a straight club and pull straight boys. I could go, um, it got to a point where I wasn't being clocked and people were seeing me as a girl and not clocking me. And us walking around and Mario seeing that, two things happened. The one thing was he had thick eyebrows and he had nice hair, um, full lips. He was handsome. He just had messed up teeth. Yes, and he was big. He was like a bigger guy and very hairy. Um, um. So what started to happen was, he started to be. It started to be a positive and a negative for him. His chat line voice was undeniable. Fish down. um, he it started to be a positive. My passability started to be a positive and a negative. Like it at first, it was like amazing to him. Like, oh my God, they don't know your T, bitch. Oh, oh. But also, it was a jealousy there. And at first, I didn't notice it, but as years went on and shit started to happen, I started to like sense it, and it was so annoying to me. I hate it. I hate that shit. So, and it made it worse because he would use it, but then he would hate it. Like, for example, if some new trade that had moved into his apartment complex, say it was a fine boy that moved in, Mario will call me and say, "Bitch, it's this boy that done moved in. I need you to come over here because I want to see if he trade. I want to see if you can pull him. Oh, and I know he'll like you. I know he'll like you." So this is how he's talking to me on the phone, and he's making me feel like this is going to be sickening for you to come over to see if you can get this boy. I know he gonna like you, and girl, we gonna have to we gotta turn him out, and girl. So I've been trying to I didn't talk to him, but because I'm the trade, I'm a boy. He ain't fucking with me, but you come over here with all them tits and ass, bitch, and you will get him. You will get him. Come on, come on, come on. You gotta come over here. Come on, come on. So he's hyping me up to come over to pull the trade, and of course, when I come over, I'm fish. I'm sickening. I'm tipping through the projects, honey, and they looking at me like, "Oh, damn, what's up?" So Mario be like, "Oh, this is my cousin, blah, 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 blah. She from the South Side, blah, 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 blah." And they'll be coming over Mario's house. Mario say they don't ever come to his house. But when I'm over there, they're coming knocking on the door. Who your friend? Very Sodom and Gomorrah, honey. Bring them out so we may know them. And so they would come into Mario's house and be sitting trying to smoke me out. And at this time I was smoking and trying to smoke me out and just flirting. I'm sitting over there looking like fish and being cute and boom, blah, 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 blah. And I would end up having the boys. Because that's what he told me to come over here and do. Pull the trade. So, and sometimes he's using me to pull the trade so he can see what the trade piece is giving and to see if I can pull him into having the boys. So sometimes, and we did this so many times, especially like on the chat line, it could be in person or on the chat line. Mario would be on the phone with the trade describing me. And then what we would do, sometimes I would know that it's happening and sometimes I wouldn't. But he would invite the boys over to the house. He would invite the boys over, and I don't know that they're coming, thinking they're coming to meet me. But Mario is the one talking to them on the phone. And he'll bring them to my house. He'll bring them to his house. it'd be so many little situations, little sneaky situations that he would be doing. And so sometimes I would know and sometimes I wouldn't. But when I would know, the T would be is when Trey come over, if they were trying to have me, I would say, you can't have me unless you have him. And some of them would say no. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm not having you. And some of them would be like, okay, and leave. And then some of them would be like, all right, I'll let them suck my dick. So this was the dynamic of sometimes we'll have boys together and sometimes we wouldn't. So one time we was messing with this boy, this cute ass. Oh God, he was so cute. Cute ass boy named Kenny. Now, the problem is Kenny wouldn't have Mario by himself. So it got to the point where Mario brought me over to have the boy, and I pulled him and got Mario to be able to participate in the activity. But anytime that I wouldn't be around, even though he let Mario gobble him up when I was around, anytime I wasn't around, he wouldn't let Mario gobble him up. And Mario did not live for that. Then this dude named Peanut. I pulled Peanut. Peanut wouldn't let him have it all. But because Peanut was, so this is where it was. This is where we get real shaky and it started to get the jealous shit. So the normal T was if you don't have my friend, you don't get to have me. But me, I'm having Peanut. I don't care what the normal deal was, but Peanut is fine, and I'm having Peanut, whether he have you or not. I'm gonna try to get you in, but if he don't take the bait, I don't care. I'm having him because he fun as fuck, and I want him on my roster. And so I end up having Peanut, and Mario was over it. Mario was over it. He felt like I shouldn't have had him since he didn't let him have me. Bitch, everybody I have don't need to have you. So he was over me having Peanut. So fast forward. So this is kind of the life that we were living. Oh, Mario lost his virginity before I did because he came over to my group home one time. Did you feel like Mario was using you? Yeah, but not in not in a shady way. Just like he knew I had the skill to pull the boys, and the goal is to get the boys. So it wasn't any kind of it didn't feel like I'm being used, like exploited. It just, honey, he knew that I was gonna pull the trade. So Mario came over to the group home one time and met Michael Bridgeport. Now, Michael Bridgeport, I had him, but we were having a little issue because I was messing around with another boy in the group home named Michael Bennett. Now, Michael Bennett was my fire and desire, and I love him. I loved him, but because I'm a whore, I also had Michael Bridgeport. And so there was a situation where Michael Bennett didn't live that I had Michael Bridgeport. So I stopped having Michael Bridgeport and just exclusively started messing around with Michael Bennett. So what ended up happening is me and Mario come over to the house, the group home, and we end up taking Michael Bridgeport to the mall. Now, unbeknownst to me, him and Mario is having a moment, and he takes Mario to the Union Station bathroom and fucks Mario on the floor of the Union Station bathroom. Now, two things happen. This becomes a running joke between me and Mario. I'm like, bitch, you lost your virginity on a nasty ass bathroom floor in Union Station. That is trashy and late. And we were kiki about it. But also, it stopped me from ever having Michael Bridgeport. Now, this is some nuance with my childish mind. So there's a difference between you having some boys that I'm trying to pull in together with you, but you having one of my trades that I didn't meet with you at all. If he have you, he gay to me. So I'm not having him no more. So that's how my mind works. Childish, hypocritical, I know. But that's how my mind works. If you have him by yourself without me being involved, you gay. And I'm not messing with you no more. Because I'm a woman. So Michael Bridgeport did not understand it. His teenage brain was like, what? I got both aggies. We all gay. in Michael Bridgeport's mind. But in my mind, I was like, you mess with him by yourself? Oh, no. I can't have you no more. Did you ever mess with Mario during these threesomes? No. I've never messed with anyone sexually, any one of my friends, ever. Me and Ty did like a client together, but we didn't do anything with each other. We all had done, all my friends, we have done stuff together with men, but we haven't, thank you. We haven't done anything sexual to each other. But I've had most of my closest friends, I've had some type of threesome with them in somewhere in our lifetime. Most of them. Not all in my younger years, not older friends, like the ones now in my older age. No, I haven't had threesome with them. But my younger year friend, yes. Anybody who was my friend before I was 30, we had threesomes. We had trade together. That's kind of, it just was a part of the culture. So yes. So what I'm trying to narrate to y'all is how the tension in our relationship started to unfold. So it is a way that Mario was living vicariously through me in how I was presenting to the world. And in our earlier years, Mario would always say, I don't want to be trans. That's you. You want to be a girl. And he would say that, but then there would just be some things that I felt like you might should have been trans or whatever. I don't know. But when I got older, it started to feel like Mario probably should have transitioned. But because Mario was so manly, I feel like he would have thought that he would have looked ridiculous. I don't think he would have thought he would have been pretty as a girl. So it just would have been a bunch of stuff. And I would say that, and Mario would be like rejecting it, like, bitch, yeah, right. I don't want to be a girl. You want to be a girl. And and it would be this kind of attitude that he would get with me. But it was like this tension between our relationship where he enjoyed that I could pull the trade, but he hated that I could pull the trade. It was a and in my younger years I didn't clock it, but in my older years I started to see like little vibes of what they got going on, what he got going on. So when we become, now this is all in high school. This is all high school and we teenagers and we just friends and we fall out about him telling my tea, not telling my tea, telling my business to people. Um, he goes through some of my breakups or some of my high school relationship shit. Um, and so by the time, and he goes through college, when I'm going through the shit that I'm going through in college, he's there to talk to me about it because he could call my phone anytime he wanted, and because his mother had unlimited long distance. And so he could just call and we would plan on being on the phone at a certain time, like, oh, I'm gonna be in the room around this time, blah, blah, blah. So we had like, we just had a really long relationship. So fast forward to our adult. I get custody of my brother and I got to move back to Indianapolis. And now Mario is an adult. He still stays with his mama, but he's starting to be really, really popular doing lashes and making money doing it, like becoming like a premier lash artist in the city. And so that started to be his hustle. I live. He still lives in the same projects with his mom. Mario never finished school. He started dealing with this dude. I can't remember his name. What the fuck is that boy name? Irving. His name was Irving. So he started messing with a dude named Irving. Now, is Irving looks like a young um Dave Chappelle. Like when Dave Chappelle was young and skinny, that's what Irving looked like. And Irving got a big ass dick. Like he is just think of a broke ass Dave Chappelle when Dave was broke and young and a comedian. That is what Irving gave me. He wasn't my type. He just wasn't my type. But another thing that made Irving not my type is that he messed around with another friend of mine, a trans girl, but when she was a boy, um, Tasia. So no. She wasn't a boy. She was early in her transition. She was a girl, but it was early in her transition. But Tasia, rest in peace, she has passed away. But Tasia, she she was sick. She had HIV. And so I didn't want to mess with any boys that mess with her. So that's just what it was. And so any boys that I knew messed with her, I would never mess with them. Like, no. So we live in a different time now. This is back then. No. So so in that scenario, I just wouldn't, you get what I'm saying? But here come Mario telling me that he messed with this dude. Now, mind you, I didn't know their connection until Mario came to me and told me about Irving messing with what you call it. Now, mind you, we know the rules about people's status. You don't be telling people status. So that wasn't my business to tell. But I'm like, yo, I know he messed around with Tasia, so you might not want to mess around with him. Not for whatever reason. I'm just saying he lying to you if he's saying he not messing with her. Not me telling Mario we don't want to mess with him because she got HIV. That wasn't what the tea I was giving. Because this was just it wasn't a rumor. It came out of her mouth, but it was kind of yes, I talked about him on my long friendships video. And so I knew it was true because it came out of her mouth, but um that wasn't some tea that I felt like I needed to tell Mario because we all grown, baby. We don't need to, you need to be making sure you are using protection with people. That's just what it is. And so we were in that strange area where you don't really tell people status like that. And so I wasn't talking about her status at all. But what I did say is, I know he's lying to you about messing around with her. So stop. And Taylor was wild about not using condoms and things, even though that was her situation. Right. And so I'm telling Mario, you might not want to mess with him anyway. I know you feel like you are falling for him, but girl, he already somebody trade. Leave him alone. Leave him alone. But Mario was infatuated with Irving. And so one time, Irving let Mario gobble his meat. The next time, Irving, you know, get to plunging Mario's backs. So I don't know how far they done gone, but I know they done did everything, but I don't know if they doing it raw. I don't know how they doing it. So there's this whole situation where Tasia gets into it with Mario. Now I'm friends with both of these people. I'm closer with Mario. I'm loyal to Mario. Tasia's like new. So it's this whole situation about Irving where Mario is jealous of Tasia. And Tasia got a little bit of coin because she's a stunt queen. And she got all of this stuff. Mario's broke because he's doing lashes, but it ain't making him tons of money. So Tasia is enticing her trade by the money that Tasia's making in the fancy cars, and so Mario is over her. She's a brick, and she don't even look like a girl, and da 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 da, because Tasia's trans, and so Mario's being real kind of shady about the whole situation, very transphobic, but he's keeping it cute because he's talking to me, who is also trans. But I know he is wearing her out when I'm not around, being transphobic. So we go. So one time I never had met Irving. I had heard about Irving. I know what Irving looked like, but as far as sitting in front of Irving, I had never done that. So I had came over Mario's house one time and he pops up and I'm sitting with Mario's mother, and Irving comes in. Irving is being super, super nice to the mother, and he sits down and like clockwork. Irving gets to trying to flirt with me. Now, I know based on how me and Mario have talked about Irving that this is not our normal situation. This is not our normal situation in regards to you know, have the trade, and I know Mario really loved this boy. So I'm very cutesy in how I engage with him because I know that this will be a moment of tension if there's any inkling that I want to try to pull him. But remember, he's not my type. And I know he messed around with Tasia, and I know Tasia's situation. So there's nothing about him that is appealing to me in regards to us messing around. So never. But he is flirting with me hard while I'm in the house, in Mario's house. But he always play this also a narrative of that I gotta add. So Mario have sold it to me like this is his boyfriend. But from the boy's perspective, I just done got some hair from this nigga. That we ain't in no relationship. So, but he done sold it to me. Like, we talk about serious stuff and da 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 da. And so I can tell that this is not true based on how he's coming at me in your face. If this was anywhere near your boyfriend, he would not be coming at me this hard like this. And so it just felt weird, but I can tell Mario was uncomfortable. So I was nipping it in the butt. And so I say, I'm like, yo, I was like, how you gonna be sitting here talking to me like this and you in a relationship with Mario? And the in the trade, Irving say, I'm not in no relationship with Mario. Who told you that? I was like, Mario did. And he was like, why would you tell her that? And I was like, why would you be messing around with him if you didn't think it was any kind of serious stuff going on? Y'all messing around. And he was like, oh, he just gave me some head. And I was like, you lying. I know y'all done did. And he was like, but that was only one time. It don't matter. That's what it was. And he was like, but that us hooking up don't mean that we're in a relationship. We just hooked up because it just was a moment. You get what I'm saying? It was just, shit. We was horny and we hooked up. We got high and got drunk and we hooked up. And I was like, oh, so based on, and he's saying all of this in front of Mario. So what is happening right now in the moment, I'm realizing that Mario has lied about a few things in the scenario, in what he's told me. Now, I know this is very awkward for Mario, so I don't make it worse. So I don't be like, why you tell me this happened? I don't do that because it's two things that are happening in this moment that I'm very conscious of, that Mario is very, 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 very sensitive about this boy. So that's number one. Number two, that whole little weird jealousy thing between us. Number three, just the feelings, like just the delicateness of what's happening in the room right now in the moment. I don't want him to be embarrassed about it. I don't want him to be I just don't want to make it worse than what it is. And I was like, oh, okay, well, my friend like you and he wants it to be serious. So you need to stop playing with my friend's heart and be serious with him. So let's have the conversation now about, because I know you don't want to have the conversation because blah blah blah. Now, mind you, he done lied to me and made it seem like they've had all of these conversations. Um, so when I say this, I am forcing them to come to grips with the feelings of what the situation is, or whatever, or at least come up front. So now it has come out of, ooh, he's trying to holler at you. Are you gonna try to holler at him back? And da 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 da. The weird tension of that to I'm telling you I'm not interested, but my friend is really interested in you, and you need to stop playing games. So it turns into a counseling session between me and their relationship, which was beautiful because it made them go further in their relationship. So they started to get deeper in emotional tangle. I don't want to say that they was boyfriend and boyfriend, but something started to be deeper out of this conversation. So much so that Mario ended up coming in up and thanking me for having the conversation because it put them on a different level. And he stopped messing with Tasia. So what else started to happen as we get older? All right. So in ever since we were younger, his mother his mother knows my name. No, my name is Diamond, but he introduced me to her as my dead name when I was young. So when we were 14, you know, it wasn't like my family or people or something wasn't still calling me my dead name. So it wasn't as annoying when I was 14. But when we get in our 20s, motherfucker, sweetheart, I done been a girl for a long I done been Diamond for a long time. And so what would happen would be I would come to the house and or I'll be on the phone or whatever, and he'll say his mama say I'm on the phone. So, Diamond's on the phone, and she was like, Diamond, who's that? And he will say my old name, and I'm like, no, you can say my name now. She knows who the fuck I am. She knows who Diamond is. Like, why the fuck are you still saying my old name? Like, it's either only thing that could be happening is your ass is still saying my old name when I'm not around, or or you get what I'm saying? But me and her have had the conversation about my name multiple times. This is my name. My name is not that no more, Miss D. We done had this conversation multiple times. She know who Diamond is. And if you just say, your trans friend Diamond, she will know because we done had conversations about trans. So your ass is fucking, you still using my old name is annoying me. And this lasted for probably like multiple years. Like multiple years. To where, but because we didn't live in the same city and I lived in Houston, it didn't always come up. So it was sometimes like if I would come back to the house, um his mom would be saying my name, Diamond, but as soon as he comes in the room, it'll switch up. So it made me feel like it's because of you. It's because of you that she's not adjusting, because when she's in my face, she knows to use Diamond. But when you get around and you get to you are not holding her accountable, which in my brain, I don't always force people in that situation, but you my friend. And so if you aren't using my right shit when I'm not around, that means you're doing it intentionally, and that's shady. But I think hindsight is 2020. I think one way of humbling me, I think one way of humbling me from his own perspective is using my old name to other people. Because when we got into it about it years later in my 30s, his friends, like his cisgender girlfriends and his mom and people, they started to inform me. If you in here, thumbs up. Make sure it's 34 people in here. Thumbs up if you're watching. If you they would inform me that he would be using his like he would be using my old name, and it would be like a shady moment for like a shady moment for them. Like they would tell me like he was like if they were using my name correctly, like Diamond, he would be like, "Why are you calling her that? Calling him that?" Like he would say little stuff that makes him that lets me that will be put to he wouldn't do it in front of me because he know I would go off. But he would do it when I'm not around because it would put me in my place to him and to his friends. And so his homegirls would be like, "Yeah, Mario would be correcting us when we be trying to use your new name. He be correcting us and telling us no, especially when you're one of the most known trans girls in the city. They wouldn't even remember your dead name. Yes, I had been using Diamond. So by the time I'm in my 20s and 30s, nobody should know my dead name because my that was so many years ago. That's 10 plus 15 plus years ago. So you doing this is because you want to be shady and humble me. That's what it is. But it would be just crazy situations where I remember her neighbor, like his mom and her neighbor came over, and it's just me and her. Mario hadn't came home yet. Like he had gone somewhere to the store or something, and I just showed up without calling. Well, I called his mom. His mom knew I was coming, but I told her that I wanted to surprise him because he didn't know I was in town. And so we come, I'm standing there, and she opened the door. She was like, "Oh my God." And she hugs me. She was like, "Oh my God, you're so beautiful. You're so beautiful. Oh my God. Look at touching my titties and shit, talking about, oh my God, your titties is bigger than mine. Da, 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 da." All kinds of shit like that. Just being like older woman is diamond, 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 diamond. And so, no. She isn't saying Diamond. She is saying my old name, but she's introducing me to my to she's introducing me to her neighbor. And so, no. She is saying Diamond, but she is using male pronouns. So he, him, he, him. And so when the neighbor, she is looking at her like, who are you talking about? Like she is confused. She is confused because she keeps saying he, and I'm standing in front of her and she's not clocking me. And so she's like, she was like, "Who are you talking about? And are you okay?" And this is an old woman. She like in her 70s at this point, because she was in her 60s when we were in high school. And so she's like in her 70th point. And I think she's going through, I think I know, she is going through dementia. So her neighbor, I think, is thinking she having one of them dementia things. And so Mario pulls up, and the girl says to Mario, "I think your mother um, is having one of her episodes because she's talking about people that's not there." And Mario was like, "What you mean?" And she was like, she was talking about, she introduced me to your friend here, and she was talking about a guy, and and Mario is looking like, "Oh girl," and da 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 da. So we go in the house, and I don't do it in front of her friend. I just do it when we get in there. I was like, "Miss D, you gonna need to stop calling me he. I'm a girl. Been a girl for a long time. Been a girl since you've known me, since I was a little 14, 15-year-old trans. I was a girl then. I know, I know you old school." She was like, "I know, baby. I'm sorry." She ain't going through nothing. She know, honey, she just was wearing it out. And I didn't, and I'm the type of person that if I see that you're not clocking and I don't need to, it's making you sound crazy, I'm gonna let you stand in that craziness. And that's what I did with her. And so we had this little moment where Mario was like annoyed that I just let it ride instead of explaining it. I'm not explaining the shit. I'm not explaining shit. She saw a woman. I'm a woman. That's it. Your mama was calling me he and being crazy. So I'm gonna let her be crazy. That's your mama. And I'm not gonna correct her. That's your mama. So I'm not gonna cuss her out in the way that I would cuss somebody else out. That's your mother. And so we had this long conversation, and his mother was like, I always call you Diamond. And da 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 da. It's Mario that don't be calling you Diamond. Now, clock that T. So the mama says that in this midst of this, the mama says that. And I was like, oh, So the mama clocked that T, and then the friend had clocked the T. So to me, it felt like, oh, you is being rude, you being shady, because you really hate that I'm one of the girls. You really hate that I'm one of the girls. And so by the end, probably like 2 years before we stopped talking, um, I was calling him out on that shit because I would call and then he would say some smart ass shit about he would say it just would be these weird ass little moments where he would dead name me. And I'm like, okay, baby, I don't like how this is going. And being that we are grown and I live in a whole other place, and now I know the T, and I done sat and had a deep conversation with you about this trans shit. And what ended up happening, I had a deep conversation with him about the transness. Any other time he would deny it. But this conversation, I don't know if it was because he was drunk or he wasn't drunk, Jump, or he was drinking, or we were having a deep conversation about Irving. Remember the trade. I really think Irving liked the girls. He like it. He mess around with anybody, but I think he likes the girls. And so we had this conversation where I asked him, like, I think that I feel like you, if you looked more feminine at the time that we were growing up in high school, I think that you would have transitioned. I think that I remember how you would try to put on my shoes. I remember how you would try to put on my stretchy clothes. And because you were so big, you couldn't fit in anything. You couldn't, you, I feel like if you were more feminine, you would have transitioned. And for the very first time, Mario says, you know what? I think you're right. I think if he had a vulnerable moment and he says, I just felt like that was, you could do that because you were in a group home. You didn't have your mother there to say, no, 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 no. You didn't have anybody in your life to deter you from that. And you had a certain level of freedom that I didn't have because you was in a group home. And but I was kind of jealous of, and this is the first time that Mario had ever said this, even though I had been claiming it for decades at this point. He would always say that I was crazy, and it was because I'm light skinned and I thought I was all that. He would say it was because I thought because I was light skinned and pretty that everybody was jealous of me. And I'm like, I don't say that about everybody. I said that about you. And it wasn't about me being light skinned and pretty. It was because you did shit that let me know that you was fucking jealous. Period. No, but I didn't say that. I've never said that about anybody else, any of my other friends. It was about you. And so fast forward 15, 20 years later, he admits it, that it was a jealousy and him wanting to be trans and him wanting to transition. And he just not, it wouldn't have looked right. He was like, I had all this hair on my body. I was so damn tall. I wore a size 16 shoe. I had all the things that would have got me clocked and da 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 da. And um, yeah, he finally, we spent like 3 hours talking about his regrets and him. He was like, he basically says there was a jealousy, but it also was a pride too. Like it was the way he described it is exactly how I knew it was. Like I could read it. Um, I could read it. Like I could read it in the scenario. There was a level of pride that he was proud of me, but there also was a jealousy. They were simultaneously in him. I could tell it. I could feel it. I could feel that he was proud of me when I sued my high school, when I any success that I came up with, wanting me to be happy with my boyfriend when I was with Jonathan. Um, Anything that was a success for me, I could feel that he wanted me to be successful at it. But I also could feel that he was vicariously living through me. So that puts you in a position where they can be jealous. That's just what it was. It just what it was. And it took him years to admit it, but he ended up admitting it. And so once that came out, like once we established that you do these little petty things because bitch you fucking jealous, or bitch because you're trying to put me in my place, or you're trying to take me down a notch to your friends and to your people and to your family. Like it be people who want to respect my pronouns and affirm name, and all of a sudden you correcting them and doing all this kind of crazy ass shit. And so I got to the point where, child, no, I'm not accepting this no more. We grown now. We not little kids no more. We're not to the point where we don't have the intelligence, that we don't have the emotional intelligence. No, I'm not accepting it. We in our 30s at this point. No. And so it got to the point where I just cut him off. Like, I'm not talking to you no more. Like, I'm not, you don't respect me. You don't, we had a last little situation that was about his mom, but it was like a weird ass, I can't remember what it was, but it was about dead names and shit. And I told him that, yeah, no, I'm not fucking playing with you. No, you can't get it straight. That jealousy shit still riding up, and you ain't fixing it. Now that you done admitted it, and it done came out, and you still not trying to fix it, or you still trying to do some of those same old tactics. Nah, get out of here, bro. I'm getting the fuck get off my phone. I'm not talking to you. So for a year, from the time, remember I told y'all, from the time I was 14 to the last year of his life, a year before the last year of his life, I had talked to Mario every day of the week. And not every day, once, at least once a week in a week. So at least once. A lot of times it'd be like 4 and 5 times a day. 4 and 5 times a week, 2 times a day. We talk all the time from the time I was 14 till I was fucking 30 something. And so 34, 33. And so that last year, my stubbornness and his stubbornness was, oh, this bitch don't want to talk to me, so fuck it. Da, 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 da. And I was like, yeah, bitch, fuck you. I'm all the way down here in Houston, got new friends, got new life, got new career, da 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 da, new man, yeah, fuck you. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. So I call maybe like a year later. I'm over it. I'm done. My homegirl, we had a cisgender homegirl, mutual friend, Kendra. Kendra calls me and she says, "Hey, are you busy? Can I call you?" And I was like, "Sure." She calls me. She was like, "Hey, I want you to call Mario." And I was like, "Why?" And she was like, "Oh, y'all need to talk." And I was like, "Oh, no, we don't. We're not friends no more." And she was like, "No, y'all need to talk. And I'm not taking no for an answer. I can't explain to you what's going on, but you need to talk to your friend. You need to talk." And I was like, "Oh, child, fuck Mario. Da, 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 da. You trying to?" Because in my brain, I just feel like because we've been friends for so long and she knows it, she's just trying to get us to continue together. In my brain, I'm like, that motherfucker didn't want to apologize. I'm not about to fuck with him. Like, no, we not about to go there. Fuck him. Da, 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 until he apologizes and get his shit together. I'm not. I'm not talking to him. I'm not calling him. And so before we got the phone, when I say all of that, she says, "Diamond, I need you to um I need you to let that go and text him. Whatever you talking about, trust me. Just let that go and text him. Just text. Just you ain't got to say nothing. Just say, hey, what's up? What's going on?" So the way she's talking, I'm getting nervous because now the way she's talking is making me think some weird ass shit. Like, what's happening? Like, did something happen? And so she was like, "I can't tell you, and I'm not going to tell you. I want him to tell you. So you do." So my brain, my wheels is turning in my head, and it's coming to certain conclusions. So this has to be some type of life or death situation. Like, I mean, what's going on? And so I unblock him because I have him blocked, so he can't text me. And that's why she so apparently they were talking and she was like, "Have you told Diamond what's going on?" And he said no. He was like, "I've texted her, but she ain't getting the texts because she got me blocked everywhere. And I can't get through to her." And so she hits me up. And so I unblock him and I see another text message and say, "What's up? Kendra told me that you want to talk. What's up?" Um, and he was like, he said something, because at first I was thinking it was like a life or death situation where I was like, "Oh, if it's a health situation, tell me what's going on." Da 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 da. So the way first he was talking was like, "Oh, it wasn't a health situation." So once he got into that tea, I don't want if it's not that, then I don't really give a fuck about it. So what what do you want to tell me? And so he said something and I'm like, "Oh, well, this ain't got nothing to do with me. Why did she tell me to call you?" And he's before I could finish what I was about to say, he says, can you not be a bitch for a moment right now? Just whatever, just stop being a bitch and let me just say what I gotta say. Okay. And so he reveals that he has AIDS, and the doctor says that his T cell count was 2. And so he went to so he was in the hospital. And so he's telling me the story about so apparently he had got a tooth infection, and he was, he was like, it was hurting so bad that he had to go to the emergency room. And they had gave him some stuff, but it just wasn't going down. And they were like, "We don't know what's going on. Let us test you for some stuff." And they tested him for all the stuff. And basically, th- him finding out a toothache is how he found out, because whatever the inflammation of the infection, it wasn't going away. Like it was, they was giving him all the medicines, all the normal toothache shit, and it wasn't going away. And so they like, what the fuck is happening? And so they test him and they realize that, oh, it's not going away because you don't have anything in your body to fight the infection because you have AIDS. And yeah. And because Mario was, he had lost a lot of weight, but he wasn't like small, small. But based on average people's size, he was still big. So people didn't look at it like, oh, he had got emaciated yet. Cause he, even though when I saw him, it was because I'm used to the Mario that I know. So when I saw him, I was like, oh my God, you look emaciated. You look sick. Like you do not look like your normal self. Like if I was in his life, I could see it. But also, I know what AIDS doesn't have a look. But when somebody is about to go out, it does have a look. Like it it especially if they're not taking care of themselves. There's a look that starts to come. You losing so much weight. It's almost like when you can tell when somebody's like anorexic. It's like you can tell you're anorexic because you look anorexic. You don't look like just a regular skinny person. You look like an anorexic person. And so when I saw him, I came to Indianapolis and I was like, oh shit, like you, what's going on? And so he basically described that the doctor told him he had HIV and then and that he had AIDS. And and when the doctor was describing him, he was like, you get what I'm saying? You gotta tell your partners and da 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 da. And so we joked about this, but Mario was laughing. He was like, oh doc, I wouldn't know. There's so many people that I done let fuck me raw, and I don't know when it could have been. Like if you're telling me now that it got to this point, and I haven't been on any kind of medications, and you know he started talking about, he was like, I don't know who I could have got it from. I done some risky stuff, years ago. I don't know how long it took to get to this point. Like, did I catch it 6 months ago and it came this month, or did I catch it 3 years ago? I don't know, but I'm out here living life, and so the doctor says, well, luckily for you, it's not a death sentence anymore, and we can get you on some meds, and you'll be back on track, and you'll be good. Don't worry about it. You good. So that was like in September. It was like August, like late August. And so late August we talk and I tell him, I was like, because at first I was like, this is a stunt. I was like, this is a stunt to get me to talk to you. Like I feel like this is a stunt. And then I said, well, once I believed it, once I was like, okay, this is real. Like once I talked to his homegirl and his mama and they confirmed that all of this is real, then I had to be like, all right, so what are we doing here? Like, I'm still not gonna be disrespected. And I don't, what am I gonna do in this situation? And so in my brain, I said, I need to respect myself and I need to respect and give you the care that I think I need to give you in this moment. And so we got the negative out of the way. I said, sweetie, I'm not gonna be disrespected. This is who I am. This is who I've been. This is not new. And if you're going to be my friend in my life, those games you used to play, cut them. Period. Like I don't want. There shouldn't be any. Um, I've been who I am for too long and been through too much to have somebody who is telling me that they're my friend and we supposed to be ride or die. We supposed to be like this. This type of bullshit I deal with from strangers. I shouldn't have to deal with this from somebody that claims that they love me and that they're in my corner, aka you. And he was like, I totally understand. I had a whole breakdown with my mom and my friends, um and as I thought through the situation, like, you definitely have been one of my closest friends in my life, and I there was a jealousy there, and I had to work through it, um and realize that that's some past ass shit. I'm not transitioning. I'm not gonna do that. I didn't want. That's just, it's too late for any kind of shit like that. But you follow your dream, and you are my friend, and I'm proud of you. And you have become what you said you was gonna become, and I'm proud of that. And I miss you in my life, and da 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 da. So once we got over that, then I can be tender and care. And I was like, well, um, you need to get on your meds, and you need to continue to take your meds, because unlike when we were growing up, it's not a death sentence, baby. Like, they got good meds out here, good cocktails, and you straight. Like, your ass done caught it in one of the best times to catch it, because the medicine is great. The medicine is cool. The medicine can bounce you right back. And so we talked about who he possibly could have gotten it from. He thinks he got it from Irving. And by this time, Tasia had died. Um, Tasia got killed in where 98 or 99, not 98, 99, 08 or 09, one of them Christmas time during one of them years. And and by this time I was like, yeah, that could be a potential one, but um that could be a potential. You could have got it from him, because I know Tasia was sick. Is Irving still living? I have no idea. I don't know. So that was September of two August, late August of 2014. And we we talked for like a month, from 2000 August of 2014 to like September. And then, but it's still, our relationship still was still kind of different. It still was kind of different a little bit. Um but yeah, we chit chatted, and it was interesting because I had stopped fucking with two of my friends around that same time, Mario and my gay mom. And so I just was building new friendships at the time. It was when I was started to be friends with Brandon. Um, I had got a roommate named Kristen during that time, and it kind of shifted my mindset, around friendships and shit. Um, but yeah, we started talking back again, and then like a month later, his mother called and said that they had admitted him to, because they had found him unconscious in his apartment, and he had fell. And they called the ambulance, and they took him to the hospital. And apparently, um, I don't know if he was taking his meds or I don't know exactly what was going on, but he had went into a coma and never came out, and passed away in October of 2014. And I went up to Indianapolis for the funeral, and it was a horrible funeral. It was, I want to say horrible, not horrible, and it was just sad. But the because he had built his brand, his like lashes, baby, so many people was at that funeral. So many people was at that funeral. Like the lines at the funeral parlor. Oh my God, the line of cars that was like around, it was like a celebrity in our city. And but I, of course, because he was Mario. Mario was so like popular because of not just because of like the lashes, but because he was a male soprano. And during all the church choir concerts, Mario, sometimes it would be moments where Mario was the only soprano that showed up for the event. And he could hold his own. He could hold his own. Don't be sorry. That was 10 years ago. Um, I have my friend on my altar. Um, yeah, it's 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 good now. I'm not grieving anymore. Um, but it just was so many people at the funeral who was there just to love on him, just because he had been such a staple in our city at the, for so many decades at the time. And when it was funny, I sat in the back of the funeral because I don't really like funerals. But my compromise of not going at all, because I can't, how can I not go to my friend's funeral? But my compromise was I sit in the back. The reason why I did that is because I just didn't want to see my friend in the casket. I didn't want that memory. I wanted the memory of me seeing my friends' smiling faces, because I had went to my great aunt's funeral, who I love, my aunt Roz. She used to be, when I was had my camera up there, she used to be the madam with her picture right there. Um, I don't like that I have that memory of her in the casket. I wanted the happy memory of her. So I didn't come up to my friend's casket because I didn't want to. I didn't want to see my friend in the casket. And so, but because I was sitting in the back, all the way in the back in the middle, just kind of not be seen. And it was funny, his cousin Ivory Bates. Um, she sees me back there and she's like, "Hey, yo, oh my God. Now I don't know why you sitting back there. You one of the family. You need to bring your ass up here. Up here. Come on up here. Come on up here." Because his whole family knew me. Because we have grew up together, his whole family knew who I was. And from he has a lesbian sister named Laura, and she would be in the gate when we run in the streets as teenagers. Not him. Remember, I told you he didn't ever come to the gay club, but me, I went there all the time. When I'm running the streets, going sneaking into gay clubs, his sister in there. And his older brothers had sons that went to high school with me. That's how young, like when I was a senior, his his oldest brother's son was a freshman. And so he knew me, his brothers knew me, his aunts knew me. It just was a I just was a part of their family, in the sense of, you get what I'm saying? Like I was just around all the time because I was connected to Mario. And so when they saw me, when Ivory said that, they was like, "Yeah, bring your ass up here." So I got to get on the mic and just share my side of Mario, because the way they were sharing it, they were sharing his, him being the little gay brother. Like uh them being not the little gay brother, but the little brother. Like they were sharing the little brother stories, and the way they were handling his queerness was they were saying stuff like, when we knew that he was gonna be different. When anybody know Mario, Mario gonna be himself. Well, we knew there was something different about him, and everybody would get the joke, but nobody was actually acknowledging his queerness as a human being, like as a because they didn't know it. You know what I'm saying? They didn't know his story in regards to that in the way that I did. And so when I got on the mic, I shared the story about us meeting on the bleachers. And then I just shared the story of us, like, kind of, you know, growing as friends and him able to be vulnerable and be himself and be unapologetically gay and and us having unconditional love for each other and us protecting each other and us da 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 da, all this kind of stuff. And I was able to share these different stories that intertwined with what some of his brothers and his family, his blood families, was saying, and and then people, girls who knew him outside of family, like through them doing his lashes or him, he used to like do natural hair too. Like he used to do like twist and interlocking and shit like that because he had long locks by the end of his life. Um, well, in that era. Um, and so people who knew that side of him when I got on there, that's when they was like, that's the Mario we know. Cause the family was just giving kind of like this, I don't want to say straight wash, because he wasn't pretending to be straight at all. Never, he was never that. People knew he was queer, but the way they was giving it was very much like, oh, we just know stories about him being a little kid. And that makes sense because once he became older, that part of his family and queer and older, they kind of shunned him. Only time that they had to deal with him was when they came to his mama's house. Because remember, he stayed with his mama, and he's the only one who cared for his mother. Like, I'm not care for her and care for her at all, but being her caretaker, he was the only one. That's why he never went out on his own until he got super grown, till he got in like his mid-30s. And so, like, I think the last 2 years of his life, he was in his own apartment. Whereas all the other time he was staying with his mom, taking care of her because she was going through dementia, because she was going through dementia. And he was her caretaker when she got sick, when she had strokes, when he was her caretaker. And so yeah, it's wow, 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 wow. And so it was a beautiful moment. And yeah, I wanted to tell that story in more detail because I think the last time I talked about it, I didn't really give as much detail as I did tonight. And so, yeah, I guess the point of that story is it, human beings are very complicated. And while I think that Mario loved me, I think he had a complicated relationship with me. It was complicated because of his own identity and his own insecurities and desires and how that kind of mixed together. It was a complicated relationship, but beautiful relationship because it was mostly good. Now there was shit that happened behind, in the underbelly of it, but mostly um it was mostly good. Tons of joyous moments. Um what is your best memory of Mario? Oh God. Really definitely in high school. Definitely our high school memories. Just us cutting up in the hallways. Um him coming to my house when I did have custody of my brother, and us cutting up in with the trade, or just talking about shit, or him being at my house when my very very first apartment when I lived off of college. He would come over there and get on the chat line, baby, and have the boys just come over, like back to back to back to back, trying to have them. um, us going down to the mall and just cutting up in Circle Center, being gay as hell. Um, One of those moments where he was the only soprano that showed up to an event and he was singing his ass off, holding his own. And I was so proud of him, clapping and just like, bitch, you ate that. You was the only soprano and you was a boy and you was holding your own. Wear it out. And he became like a legend in that sense. Like, yeah, it was just so dope. And I was just so proud of him. That moment. Um, what other moments? I think the conversation with Irving, I don't know if that boy gave Mario was doing shit during and after Irving that was risky. So anybody could have gave Mario the kitty, honey, the bug, the package. Anybody could have gave Mario that. But I think the beauty of the conversation we had with them, of me being able to navigate it tenderly, I think that was a beautiful moment too. Not just for Mario and Irving, because it did shift their relationship to something more healthy and positive. No pun intended. Um, but also even the conversations that I need to have with some of my trade, like some of them, it allowed me to see through their scenario that I can't live in this fantasy. Like whatever fantasy that I'm creating with the boy that I'm dealing with, I can't live in this fantasy because Mario was living in the fantasy and making decisions off the fantasy. It wasn't real until you make it real, until you put it to the test. I know you lying to me, selling me the dream, but you out here making life or death decisions based on a fantasy. You deciding to have niggas raw based on the fantasy of a relationship. You ain't even had the serious conversation with the nigga, but you fucking them raw because you so in love. Yeah, I don't like that was a beautiful moment in the sense of taught me a lesson about not living in that fantasy. Um, just us being on the phone, joking and talking at different times of my life. Um, um, different. There's just Mario has been my at the time. Mario was the confidant that I had through all my life shit, like from when I was in a group home to when I was at Jackson State to when I was in Walnut Grove, Mississippi. When all my life since I was 14, Mario has been there to talk me through what was going on. He was there, even not physically there because he stayed in Indianapolis, but we still talked on the phone. And so the lesson is how important, having a confidant is. Having a confidant, having somebody that you can work through shit. And that's a complicated situation. It's complicated because while I needed him, I was a source of unfulfillment for Mario. based on our conversation later in life, I was a source of unfulfillment because they were living vicariously through my, um, my sexcapades, through my failed, for my try victories in love and failures in love. Um, we were in, how whatever situations that I was in, there was a sense of unfulfillment. Me graduating from college, me doing things out here doing stuff when they were not. But fast forward to, when I was encouraging them to you know, pursue these hustles that were actually working for him. The lashes and the hair, go to hair school and da 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 da. Even though he didn't end up going to hair school, he did end up starting that hustle and then started to make money because he was doing good and learning and reading and all that kind of stuff, reading up on hair, on natural hair. And so, yeah. Um, and also, I was reminded of this recently when Oprah was on Belinda Gates. Belinda Gates has a podcast now, and Oprah and Gail was on there talking about friendships. And Oprah and Gail was talking about it, and Mario taught me this too. Yo, you can't be friends with somebody that's jealous, even a smidget. Like, and it's not even if it's you, not just it's them jealous of you, even if it's you. If you feel like a smidget of jealousy, you need to end that friendship. I think that you should want your friends to win. And if you are in a position to where you are jealous of your friend to the point where you don't want them to win, or to the point where you can kind of do weird shit to sabotage, I think you don't need to be. You got some growing up to do, and I don't think you need to be friends. No, I think Mario would be the same with what he was. I think he got comfortable with just being just a gay man that didn't, yeah, I think he got comfortable eventually because we talked about that. We talked about that. I think he just would have been a comfortable gay man. I don't think that would have been non-binary in the way that we talk about it now. He still would have been an old butch, a old queen, honey. Um, but yeah, you gotta want your friends to win, and you gotta want the best for them. Um, do you think that sometimes jealousy can help spur people on to achieve what they want to do if they see others do what they want? Yes, I think it. I can. I think it can be a spark of motive. I think it can be motivation. I think it could be spark of motivation. Yeah, but if you fail, if the jealousy is your motivation and you fail, where does that jealousy go? It has no choice but to grow into something negative. If you if you want to be a tennis player, a great tennis player, and because you the jealousy sparked it, and then you don't make it, it becomes worse. It just becomes worse and worse and worse and worse. Yeah, no. Um Yeah. Yeah. I just feel like I feel like that's what happened with Vanessa. How so? I be wanting to tell me and Vanessa's story, but I don't even know where to start. It just got weird. It's such a weird story. I might tell y'all that another time. But yeah. Um, yeah, but that's the only I'm trying to think. Yeah, that's the only one of my friends that I felt like there was a undercurrent of jealousy. I think that there may be um I think there can be anybody can have a moment of jealousy of anybody, but the constant, it's the constant feelings of it and your actions kind of dictating something negative towards your friend. That's when it get crazy. Mm, yeah, I don't know. Mm, yeah, I just don't. I don't. That's not. I don't think that's in my temperament. Um, I don't want to say I. Yeah, I don't remember having like feelings of, oh my God, I'm jealous of somebody. I don't remember having that shit. I don't remember having that. There'd be situations. I don't know. I'm just always doing my own thing. So I'm never ever usually going after the same goals as as my friends. Most of my friends are doing something that I'm not doing. They're doing something else. So I never really be wanting to do what they're doing. So jealousy don't really come up. I'm not in competition with somebody in a way that we're going after the same thing. I'm always doing something off the beaten path where I'm getting my validation from shit that don't have nothing to do with my friends. And my friends ain't even doing this. I'm over here doing even like I don't know, like even like YouTube or something. Like one none of my friends on YouTube. Like so me trying to oh I'm trying to create a YouTube archive where I interview trans people and da 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 da. Da. Wasn't nobody doing that for me to be like, oh my god, uh, my friend has more followers than me or more views than me, or I never was in a situation where my friends was doing what I was doing, and then I'm never gonna be jealous of some stranger. So like somebody who I'm not cool with or I don't know having more friends than me or followers or views than me, I didn't I don't even think about that. I'm always, and this is not, I'm not saying this to be cliche, but I'm not ever trying to, I never think that I am, I never think that I'm doing the popular thing. So I never expect it to grow huge. I always see that, like, do I want to say that? There are some people who are doing shit for clicks and doing the the common thing. I don't be grinding like that. Like, I don't be trying to I just want to talk about what I want to talk about. I'm not trying to jump on the bandwagon for every single subject. I'm not trying to jump on the bandwagon on every single topic because I'm not chasing clicks. I'm chasing this is like a diary for me. So I'm never in a situation where somebody is doing something that I'm doing and I'm like jealous of them because I know we doing different shit and they may be doing something that it's hard for me to explain. I always feel like I'm in my own lane. Even if it's similar, it's still I'm doing my own lane. So I just I just never had particularly around my friends, I never was doing they never were doing something that I wanted to do. Like they never there was never I don't have a friend who is doing something exactly how I want to do it in a way that's like, oh, my friends do what they do. Like Ty does drag and she has made a name for herself in our city. I don't want to do drag. When I was younger, I was interested in drag. And once I played with the idea, I was like, oh, no, this is not for me. So, her going on to win EOI pageants and becoming this Houston drag celebrity, I'm just proud of her. Anytime I have people come to the city, I take them to see her. It is just I'm proud of what she has become in our city. But I didn't want to do that. So there was no tension of me wanting to be that. So there never was a situation where I was I would be jealous of that. It would be I'm happy for her. She's doing her thing. Like she is it doesn't yeah, I'm trying to think of Brianna Jenkins. Brianna Jenkins is went to fucking DePaul and got a law degree. She went from Baltimore to get a law degree and got one. And she's a fucking esquire attorney out here in these streets. I don't want to be a lawyer. So there's nothing about that I want to do. And so I don't feel jealous of her. I feel proud. Like I don't yeah, I just there's nothing that I want to do. She's a freaking lawyer. Yeah, it's like you're a fucking lawyer, a black trans lawyer. That is amazing. I tell everybody I get a hold on about her accomplishments, about her. Um, Arya Saeed, one of my best friends now. She started the trans district. She started a whole district, cultural district for her city in San Francisco. Nothing like it in the world. The first of its kind in the globe. And it is helping people. It's preserving one of the the most densely populated area of trans people in the world, the transgender district, like the most densely populated area of trans people in the world. And she has created a place to preserve that culture. How dope is that? I'm not in San Francisco. I don't want to do that. T.S. Madison. T.S. Madison is arguably one of the most famous, popular trans women in the world who started her career in porn I never wanted to do porn, and she has transitioned it out into this hood iconic cultural icon, like this hood cultural icon, trans cultural icon that that is funny. She's like a comedian personality, reality personality. I love that for her. But there's certain things that I wouldn't want to do that Madison does. There's just a level of um that I wouldn't want to do. I like a coin. No, I want Madison coin. But there are also certain things I wouldn't want to do for a coin. Do you see what I'm saying? I there's a there's a there's just a way that she moves that I just couldn't move. It wouldn't be authentic to me. But I am so proud of what she has become. I've been knowing Madison since 2002, 2003. Yeah, 2002. From I met her in Yahoo Chat. And so for her to come and be this amazing thing, it I it, it's amazing. I'm proud of her. And then there's some I was thinking about my homegirl Lauren. I went to Canada. And I remember Lauren being in my comments here on YouTube 10 years ago. Freshly, uh, you know, uh, she was a model in Asia, and she was coming back to the States, not back to Canada, where she's from, back to Canada with these amazing pictures and literally living a dream of being a fucking fashion model as a trans woman. Lauren was doing it, living that dream. But she has so much she should have been. Like she literally her life set her up to be able to do it, to have her family helped her get her FFS done by the amazing Dr. Asterhoff. She got her change young. Her parents help her do that. She's in Canada who helps pay for all of that stuff. So she was able to have the support and the change to be able to go support to do her dreams. Yeah, and so I've always been proud of her. I've always showcased her. It's I don't know. I don't be jealous of people. I be proud. I want us all to win. I remember even in my younger years when I was in high school, all of my friends, most of them didn't go to the high school that I went to. Most of them went to the quote unquote gay school. They went to Broad Ripple. And so, what my dream was when I was younger, I wanted all the trans girls in the city to go that was high school age. I wanted us all to go to the same high school. That was a dream. That would have been a dream come true for me. For us all to go to the same high school and be pumping through up in geese, kid tipping through fish. That would have like, and my reference was Jawbreaker, was The Craft, like the movie The Craft, the movie Jawbreaker. That was my reference, and so for us to be the girl, them scenes in them kind of teen movies where there's like the four girls walking down the hallway, like on The Craft and on Jawbreaker, and just looking sickening. I wanted my girls to do that, but because of the bickeriness of bitches, it never it never could have come to fruition. Yeah. Same iffy. I do not want that life. And so Yeah, I want it to be a clique of trans people looking sickening. I wanted it to be that. But some of the girls we were growing up with were fucking weirdos. Jealous ass weirdos that didn't allow you to I wonder if any trans girls party with Diddy. I doubt it. Diddy don't seem like he liked the girls. Diddy seemed like he liked boys and girls. Diddy seemed like he was bi, and I don't wish any harm on any trans woman, so I don't want her to party with any harmful abuser. But Diddy seemed like he was bi and not into the trans girls. And an experience that I have with Diddy, not me personally, but to kind of hint on he might not be into the girls. I was with my one like really really rich friend, and we were in LA, and we were at Mr. Child's. Anybody who knows Mr. Child's restaurant in LA is where tons of celebrities go to just hang out and um, eat. And so me and my rich friend was at the table, and Buster Rhymes is next to us. Um, like it's just nothing but celebrities in this restaurant. Like sitting, like regular ass people just sitting, just celebrities, stars. And so I see Puff Daddy come in to the restaurant, and they go up to the VIP area of Mr. Child's. And so um it's Puff and some other people, but Puff is who the one I really, really recognize and knew. And of course, Buster Rhymes, who was like right next to our table. Um, there was this girl who I know. Her name is Ashley. Ashley is tall as shit. Ashley Amazon. Oh, Ashley is a trans girl who Miley Cyrus had on her tour when Miley Cyrus was doing her black girl era. And she had the black girls humping and and be twerking and shit. Um Mr. Childs was today's Nobu, but Mr. Child is still Mr. Childs. That's just like a classic restaurant in LA. But yes, it was like Nobu. Um, when so Ashley comes in. Ashley is a beautiful trans girl. She's tall as shit. She's like 7 foot. She tall as shit, but she's a beautiful trans girl. She's beautiful. Um, she's originally from the DC, Maryland area, the DMV area. But she was on tour with Miley Cyrus. She was one of Miley Cyrus's dancers. She was the big, big, tall one that Miley has twerking on stage. I think at the VMAs somewhere. I think it was at the VMAs. Um, but she was one of her dancers. So she comes in with her fish friends, and they go up to Diddy's private VIP area. And baby Diddy sent them all back down and didn't send none of the boys back down. Diddy sent all the girls down. Like they all went up there like in a line to get up there. All the girls got sent back. Sent back downstairs. And so they had to do the walk of shame of not being able to get into the VIP. So based on that situation, I feel like Diddy like boys. Now he like fish and the boys. But I also think that there is a I don't think bi men always like trans people. I think I think there are some bi people who I like women to be women and men to be men. There are some bi people who are like that. Yeah. Mm, I don't really. I feel like men are raised to be violent, so I don't really like to pigeonhole it into sexualities. I feel like men are raised to be violent, so all of them have that potential. She's still active. She's on TikTok and she still be on Facebook, on my Facebook. So she always posting from on that I see. But she on TikTok, Ashley, Amazon, honey. But all right, y'all. Y'all see my eyes is getting red. I'm getting sleepy. But all right, y'all. Make sure y'all thumbs it up. I hope y'all enjoyed the story. I think I am gonna talk about I'm gonna spend some time to think about how to talk about Vanessa and that foolery. Because that's an interesting story. It's crazy, but it's interesting. I've been slapped and beaten, honey, for outing a bi guy. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening and timing in. Uh, but all right, y'all. I will see y'all tomorrow. I'm taking my ass to sleep. Have a wonderful day. Don't tell me they're not violent. Oh, I'm not telling you that they're not violent. I'm telling you that all men are violent. They are raised to be violent. So, um, yeah. So I don't know. I'm not telling you that they're not violent. I'm telling you that all men are violent. I just don't believe for my perspective, I don't think they're all violent. Just because they're bi. I think straight men in my life has been more violent than bi men. But if that's your experience, darling, that's your experience. But me and you have very different experiences, Nicole. You you have a aren't you the one that think that like you're super fish and you don't ever get clocked and you're a woman and you're not trans or some shit like that? Aren't you that girl? If I remember, you're the one who oh one of those kind of oh, I call them weirdos, but but oh yeah, so you one of them that think they never get clocked. Because how would you know if you can't read people mind? How would you know that it never happens? Because there's some people in the world who, if they clock you, they're not going to say anything because they're not rude. How would you know that you never get clocked just because somebody doesn't say anything? There's tons of people that wouldn't say anything because that's rude. That's what's always interesting about girls who think that they never get clocked. It's like, are you believing that for yourself or are you believing that because it's true? But, you know, because I've been in situations where I saw people that I clocked and I didn't say anything, but I'm pretty sure they went through their day like, oh, I didn't get clocked. but I clocked them. I don't know. But yeah, I think we have very different perspectives of life. So, but all right, y'all. Enjoy y'all night. Enjoy y'all morning. And I will chat with y'all later on Friday. Bye.